So we're gonna cut a taper on this drum roll. This says taper in inches per foot right here, and we set it for about 1/8 of an inch taper per foot, which is there's 8 marks. Each one of these marks is 1/8 of an inch. So, and it says included taper. So what that means is it's going to take a 1/16 per side off the diameter of the roll to cut that taper. That's how much taper it'll have. So when we adjust this, we loosen this bolt and that bolt down there, and then we take this dial and move it to the desired taper, and then we lock these bolts down here. That makes it to where the carriage won't slide back and forth, but it rides on the taper instead of just moving down the lathe. It'll forces it to ride on this angle of the taper. And this is a telescoping taper attachment, so you don't have to take any screws out or anything, any locking screws. It just automatically engages the cross slide into the cutting a taper. And did one of these rolls the other day, and we didn't get any chatter on it then, but we got chatter today. So I figured what happened, I didn't have the tailstock tight enough, and I tried sharpening. The other thing I did to cut down on the chatter is I took and ground ground a point on the tool there, so that hand ground a point on the tool so it'd be nice and sharp. So look at the top of it, it's nice and sharp there, so that's going to help eliminate the chatter. And I think I'll tighten it up a little bit more in the chuck. We got that on there so that it allows the shaft to pivot, and it also keeps from putting chalk jaw marks in it. So I'll go ahead and fire it up and start cutting, and then I'll show you what it looks like when we get done with our first side. So here we go. Dial indicator. Now we got the dial indicator on there. What I did, I'll go ahead and you can see that down there. There we go, right there. So I'm gonna move the compound in a turn, so I'll turn it in a turn. Or not the compound, the cross slide, I mean. Turn the cross slide into there. So we got that. And then we're going to take our compound. We'll move it after we're going to bring it up here. Actually, let's shut this off for a minute. Okay, so we're going to bring this up close to the center. We wait. Now you have to look at the indicator and make sure the indicator's moving here, because it takes about 2 or 3 inches before it'll start cutting the taper, because you have to get the backlash out of the taper attachment. So we'll start cranking it down, and we'll notice when you start seeing the dial move there, the dial's starting to move, so good. So the roll's about 24 1/8, so we'll move it over 12 1/16. Hold on a minute. So we got it at 12 1/16 right there. So there we go. So now we're going to fire her up and get it going. And we're going to feed off of this. We're not going to feed off the cross slide. We're going to feed off the compound, because if you feed off of this, you'll screw up your taper and it won't start cutting the taper for a couple inches. So you want to go ahead and feed in on the compound. So we're going to use the compound to feed in. We're going to go in about, oh, I don't know, we'll go in about 20 thousandths. Probably have to do this in 3 passes or so. And then there we go. So we'll watch the dial indicator, and you'll see the dial indicator start moving. As it's cutting the taper, the dial indicator will slowly move. You can see it slowly moving there. Okay, I'll stop it for now, and we'll take a look at it when it gets done with the end of the pass. So we ran it. It ran a little smoother. Still got a little bit of chatter here. So it hangs out there quite a bit, because we wanted the taper lock to be inset. We want it to be inset from the inside of the roll. So it's kind of thin out there. We're going to take, we only got about probably 15 thousandths or so to come off here to get it to clean up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow my RPM down to 75. I was running 114, and I'm going to increase my feed rate to 10 thousandths of an inch per revolution. And I used wood on here. Put a piece of wood on here when it was running to kind of cut down on the vibration. Well, I'm going to take a little bit lighter cut, and I think that'll do it. The combination of the lighter cut, reduced speed, and a little bit of increased feed. And I put another sharp insert in there, so I think that'll do it. Anyway, good luck and good machining.